Someone likes their exosuit. Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included with me, Murphy. And as you can see, we are currently idling like nobody's business. So let's just pause this so we're not using up resources that we don't need. And I'm just trying to work the best way to actually start expanding this base. Now, we've already played around with the new rooms. No, that's the exosuit overlay, the new rooms. So we've got our mess hall, we've got our latrine, we've got our barracks, and then we've got undefined rooms, which are nothing there that defines it as a specific room. So the only one we haven't actually got is the med bay. Now, I don't really want to have to build one of these at this stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking at what we've actually got access to so far. So we've got some carrots over here that we could cool. We've got a load of oxalite down here, and then I spotted this clean water. Now it's 50 plus degrees, so it's kind of indicates, I mean, this is 30 odd degrees, so it might kind of indicate that we do actually have a water geyser here, or geyser. So I'm in two minds. I'm thinking that what I need to do is open up this section. We've got plenty of oxalite here, so that will actually help immensely. If we've got a water solution here, or clean water supply, we have our cooling ice biome over here that we could possibly put equipment in to actually manage the cooling of that water before we bring it into the base, and then we can actually start working on that. So I'm kind of thinking about that sort of process at the moment, to just open up this area and then start utilizing the chlorine gas with a bleach stone to give myself some food storage area that's within a chlorine environment, so hopefully it'll kill off any germs to try and prevent anything happening. So that's kind of where I'm going. So what I think I'll do is I'm going to start by digging out here. So let's just make sure I don't hit any germs. So we've got some germs here. So I'm going to dig out that. That's 3, so let's cancel one of those. I'm going to leave that in situ for the time being. Let's start the process. So we've got, there we go. Have we got oxygen? Current no oxygen. Right, let's turn this back on. Enable. Disable what? Right. Couldn't remember how I had it set. Right, okay, so we've got our little guys running through up here, dealing with all that. So they're actually removing the... That's interesting, they're actually removing it as they go along. Which is kind of... that's got to be an update on there. So that's going to slow things down immensely. What's the oxygen in here like? Barely breathable. Okay, which is kind of what I expected. I want to also put in here, because we look at the oxygen level in here, it's just breathable. It doesn't say it's actually anything substantial. We've got germs. Yes, that's right. That's why we close that off. So I'm thinking of putting in some ventilations in here as well, just so that we can get some some new artwork on the high pressure valve vents. That's nice. So we'll pop that there so it's a decent level, and we'll get that produced. Now what's going on here? No power. Have I got that on a separate... What's going on with the power? Alright, so that is my problem. Let's get that up to... Yeah, let's get that up to Put that back to 1,000 grams. It's because I didn't actually have a dupe working over here that was helping deal with that. So that's kind of really interesting how they will actually remove the rock and everything that they're digging out at the same time. That's interesting. So where is this germ? So that germ is in that slime. Now I'm thinking that maybe what I should do is we've got some chlorine here, you see. So I'm thinking maybe what I should do is just put in a ladder. Let's do that as a priority. That's why they're doing the job. And because that is a higher this is a higher priority because they're all 6s. They're digging it, then they're going to store it away. Now they should leave it because this is now a higher priority. Unless okay, that's more like it. I'm going to build a where is it? Storage compactor. I'll pop that in there. Get that priority up. And I'll dig out. That's a build there. I'm going to put a door in. Let's rotate that door. So that will then act as a barrier for me to not to allow all this chlorine to expand out. Right. Okay, we've got a problem with food. What's going on here? Mushroom bars. Right, you can get on making those. Oh, good. We have a hatch here. I thought for a second we didn't actually have a hatch to keep on top of that pollution, but we do. I forgot. Right. Alright, so we'll put those germified slime into here, then drop it on the floor and let the chlorine kill it off, and hope that that is sufficiently controlled, because then we can actually open up this whole area without too much worry. I mean, we've got a load of germs here. They're all airborne, so we could do with that's probably because of this morb, but we could probably just mix that with the chlorine and that will actually deal with it. But let's just see. Let's dig out. As well. They're not getting air. Oh, they've had that new... Ah, right, okay, that's a new little graphics on there. That is really nice, actually. After what was here, that is really interesting. I do like that. So does that now show us how much... we go to the oxygen. There we go. That's interesting. I like that. Okay. Food shortages. Why have I got food shortages? Why aren't you making food? Get priority 9. Now, it's one thing getting everybody to go into exosuits to go outside the base, but it's a case of, does it really matter at this stage? It's only the germs that I'm kind of bothered about, and this is going to become part of my base anyway. So, and we are looking like we have got oxygen around here. I mean, that's just unbreathable, that's just chlorine. We've got polluted oxygen there. But again, we've got all this oxalite here. Right. Because this has taken an absolute forever and an age for them to go in and out through these exosuits. Okay, still. Alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this dug out off camera. And what's going on with that? What is that? Okay, welcome back, guys. We haven't really moved on a great deal, but I just thought I'd share the fact that we had this section here that had a large quantity of slime lung in there, and all the actual rocks and everything else around it had slime around it. Now, I put everything in here, or so I thought, set it to priority 9 and let them go for it, and it would appear that everything has been decontaminated from slime lung very, very quickly while it was sat in this decontamination area. So that's kind of reassuring on how we can use this chlorine to keep things clean. So I'm kind of thinking now that we open this whole section up, we'll allow the hydrogen to work its way to the top, that's fine. We'll release this oxygen that's built around this oxalite, and then just allow everything to settle down so we can discover or start picking up this water here and start using that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, because what I'd like to do is build within here an area to contain all my chlorine, pumping it in through filtration system. We'll get the hydrogen going off elsewhere, we'll get the oxygen put back in, we'll get the polluted oxygen dropped in right next to a air scrubber, because down here these two deodorizers are doing a grand job in controlling the pollution and the germs around it. So yeah, we'll give that a try. So I will get this done and we'll see you again in a moment. Okay guys, so we've finally cleared this whole cabin here to reveal our steam geyser fully. We've actually installed a pitch pump this end to start pumping the water because we are getting kind of short over here. We've actually opened up this section but allowed the chlorine gas to drop down to try and kill off all the germs, which seems to have worked quite well. So we are looking relatively healthy, apart from a couple of dupes who are a little stressed, and immunity is not an issue at all. So far everything's going all right. We've actually uncovered the fact that we've actually got a couple of weezeworts, quite handy. We haven't actually broken into this section yet because I'd rather think clearly how I want to use those weezeworts or that cold area to actually manage the whole control of cooling water, whether we just put the equipment in there and leave everything else in within the environment and hope that the environment actually keeps it cool, which is kind of what I'm thinking might work best on there. I'm actually gonna leave this, put that there as well. Gonna leave this geyser alone for the time being. Although it is kicking out a load of heat, it is actually kind of shielding it slightly by this this layer here. We've actually installed a pump down the bottom here, and that's in preparation to start clearing this lot here. so that we can actually get some mushrooms, so we can actually plant our mushrooms, but also so that we can be in a better position to manage and clean that water effectively. So actually, I've just thought I haven't put my pumps in, so let's get that down there quite urgently, because we want to have a pumping solution out of there in preparation. So make sure I put it out of iron, be useful this time. So we can take it to there for the time being, and we'll work out where we're going to be taking that water to be pumped in future. We've also got our single gas pump at the very top up here. There's no filtration on at the moment. All that hydrogen is building up at the top. If we look at the oxygen overview, we've not got too bad of oxygen in here. Primarily, this has been depleted because obviously the dupes are working in there. All that oxalate gave us so much oxygen, it was unbelievable. So yeah, we kind of we're doing okay. We do need to sort that out sooner rather than later, because as you can just see it changing in front of your eyes. So yeah, I'm going to have to get some sort of system like this in place over here as well, just so that we can actually ensure that the whole base is fully oxygenated and we don't have any issues. So yeah, so that's what's going on here. I'm going to carry on dealing with this. I'm going to put mirror another system like this over here, so that we've got this area fully oxygenated as well, and we'll see in a moment. Okay, so we're operational now with a very similar system to what we had over here. We've got the tiles coming down level on this side, so that it forces the hydrogen up. Let's just have a quick scan, see how that is doing. So that's not doing too bad. Some of the oxygen is finally starting to permeate out, which is what we kind of need. We've got this pump up here, which we can now connect up to this system. We can chuck it through a filter again. So if we just add that down, should have done this before when I had everything in place. It would have been a lot easier. Let me just put those tiles back again. Yeah, that sort of level will do. Fine. That's a priority 9. So I want this done, so get rid of all this hydrogen at the top up here, and we won't need to worry too much on the little dupe. So let's just chuck that there for the time being. But basically, we've got our nice hot water being pumped up and around and in. And that should be okay, he says, thinking. I hope so. That water's slowly building up. One of Brothgar's videos where he did experiments on how much pressure tiles can bear clearly showed that these airflow tiles, no matter what they're made of, will actually hold more than abyssalite. So we're sticking with airflow tiles for water tanks that where we're not really worried about pollution coming off it. So kind of what we're doing now. Okay, can we copy that setting? How many seeds have we got? We've got no. Okay, fine. Right. So what else have we got to do? How is that oxygen doing? Yeah, look at that. Absolute beauty. That will get rid of the hydrogen. We'll burn it all up. And that will work an absolute... Oops, no, that one. Yeah. It's solid. Actually, I need to change that, don't I? I've done the same mistake again. That's hydrogen going up. See, right, okay, let me just pause this. Why do I always make the same silly mistakes? Right, I want to remove... yeah, I want to remove that deconstructed. And we can deconstruct that pipe as well. Right, let's leave that, because I want this to filter not just oxygen, I want it to filter. There we go. I want this to actually filter. Oops, let me go off it. Let's build in ventilation. You're going. Hang on. Oh, you're supposed to be getting deconstructed. Where are you? Insulated pipe. Gas bridge. Deconstruct. Right, that's gone. So we want this now to hydrogen, and then we can put that straight up and in there, and that can go there. And get all that set to a decent priority, get it all done. And we should be cooking on gas then. So if this ever kicks out anything other than hydrogen, then that will still manage to maintain that. So that's good. Right, perfect. Okay, so that's working. We will, yeah, look at that. That's just got absolutely beautiful very quickly. Right, so that's going to work okay. So now we need to start looking at cooling things down. So we've kind of got this in system already, where we're filtering out the hydrogen from the areas there, so which means we can also now extend off here our cooling system. Now, I wanted to build something. Let me pause this for a second. I wanted to build something in here that wouldn't necessarily break the temperature. If I was to put a cap in on and maybe use only the bottom half for it, and try and use the actual stone and granite that's in there already, removing all the polluted snow and ice and all the rest of that, and hopefully cool it down. So if we were to put in some where are they? We want. Oh, what do we want? We want there we go. We want thermal regulators to actually cool the air that's going through. So if we were to put these things in here, we should then be able to have our everything running in here and close this off. So I'm going to break in here. So we've got a load of wolframide. Yeah, I'm going to break in there, and we're going to just take that out, start that off, because what I'll do is I'll put in a floor below it, and we'll put in a bisylite floor. Okay, so what that'll do is just basically cap off this whole section, so that let's put in a door as well. So this section won't get superheated by the activity that's going on down here, because we've already got some sort of heat seepage here. So I might as well use this area and see whether I can actually do it successfully. So we've now got polluted water going in there, which is not what we want. But we can mop all that up. Alright, so that's doing quite well. So let's get in, oops, ladder going across. So we might as well just start opening up this area as well. What's it doing on germs? Okay, so we have got germs here. So everybody's immunity is okay, so we're just going to do a bit of digging into this area to get all that out. And that'll just flood this whole compartment. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully, he says. But thankfully, because algae and slime are very quick and easy to dig out of the way, or dig, it should mean that no one's in there for too long, which is a good thing. Yeah, perfect. Right, okay. Right. Mop. And let's get all that mopped. That's done. Right, okay, so that should now, let me close that door and lock it for the time being. Don't need anybody going in there. That'll stop this section from getting too warm. Alright, let's have a look at the temperature. Yeah, that's already a bit warm. Let's leave that alone. Right. Okay, I think what I'll do, I've spent quite a lot of time in just getting this prepared to actually start bringing in that cooling system, because we want the whole base cooled. So it's a case of, let me just zoom out. So we want that whole section there cooled to a decent temperature. Because if I go on to here, it's very, very warm throughout. So I think I need to get the whole section done. So if I put that unit in here, a cooling system in here, and having it just pumping out, sucking up any oxygen that's in the area, and then sending that back, and that should, in the operative word, start cooling. I mean, this lot is starting to cool anyway, primarily because of the heat seeping out through this actual door. So unfortunately, these airlocks, although they're an airlock, they're not necessarily a heat lock. So that's and this is the actual polluted oxygen. Hang on, is that what's cold? No, the abyssalite is. Yeah, okay. So what I'll do is we'll do that for the next episode, and hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen, and you'll be around for next time. So that's Murphy out.